Right now, 239,000 Massachusetts families have no heat and no power, and more snow is on the way 2 days after the worst blizzard since 1978. Providence recorded 37.9 inches in a single storm, beating a record that stood for 48 years. And here's the kicker. Miami is at 81 degrees sunny right now. 2 more storm systems are already lined up and heading east, and I'm going to tell you exactly when and where they hit your area. Drop your city and state in the comments right now. I've got forecasts for over 80 cities, and I do not want you to miss yours. Before the numbers, I need to tell you something that the news covered for about 30 seconds during Hernando and then moved on from. A man in Massachusetts died from carbon monoxide poisoning during the storm. He was running a generator inside trying to keep his family warm. That did not have to happen. With 239,000 homes still dark and 2 more rounds of snow coming, I am going to make sure that does not happen again on my watch. So here is where we stand. Hernando dropped nearly 38 inches on Providence, 34 inches on Whitman, Massachusetts, and over 29 inches on Long Island. Central Park recorded 19.7 inches, the 9th highest single storm total in New York City history, and wind gusts hit 89 miles per hour at the coast. Over 11,300 flights were canceled. Amtrak went down across the Northeast. Travel bans were in place across multiple states. That storm is done, but winter is not. 2 more systems are loaded up and ready to go. Starting tonight, and once you understand what they mean for your area, you will know exactly what you need to do. The first system is an Alberta clipper that has already been dropping snow across northern Michigan and Wisconsin since last night. It is tracking east. Over the next several hours, that snow shield moves into upstate New York, western Pennsylvania, and all of New England by early Wednesday morning. Now, this clipper is not another Hernando. Nobody needs to clear the store shelves, but fresh snow on top of 3 feet of packed ice is a completely different kind of dangerous. Northeast Michigan is in the bullseye, looking at 6 to 12 inches with lake enhancement. Winter storm warnings are already posted there right now. Eastern Minnesota and upstate New York. You're in the 3 to 6 inch range. Winter weather advisories are up across New York and Pennsylvania as of this morning. Here's the thing about smaller. Sneaky systems, everybody was locked onto Hernando, and now this clipper quietly rolls through and somebody wakes up to 5 inches they were not expecting. All right, I'm making a prediction right now, and I want you to screenshot this and come back tomorrow morning to hold me accountable. I think Buffalo ends up with at least 4 inches by Wednesday sunrise, and Grand Rapids hits 5 or more. At least one city I'm about to call for 2 inches wakes up with twice that. That is how clipper systems work. They surprise you. If I'm wrong, come roast me in the comments. If I'm right, all I ask is you hit that subscribe button. All right, let's get into your cities, starting with the Northeast, where this clipper is about to make an already rough week even rougher. Buffalo, 34 degrees today, low of 25 and 2 to 4 inches with lake effect on top. That I-90 corridor through to Syracuse is going to be a mess by the morning commute. Syracuse, high of 36, low of 25, about 3 inches expected, and the Tug Hill Plateau just east of you could stack up considerably more with lake enhancement. Albany, high of 37, low of 28, around 2 inches, just enough to refreeze everything that softened up yesterday, and every bridge and overpass becomes a skating rink by dawn. Boston, 39 degrees today. Low of 29 and 1 to 3 more inches on the way right on top of the 2+ feet you are still dealing with. Providence, high of 37, low of 28, another 2 to 3 inches incoming. After nearly 38 inches, I know you are worn out, but fresh snow on packed ice is more dangerous than the original storm. Be careful. Take a second and think about this. Providence is getting more snow today while Honolulu is at 81 degrees and sunny. Same country, one flag. Hartford, Connecticut, high of 37, low of 33, and 2 to 4 inches from this clipper. Winter weather advisories are up and travel disruptions continue through Wednesday afternoon. Portland, Maine, high of 36, low of 30, and 3 to 5 inches. Possible mountain communities to your west could see more. And frostbite on exposed skin sets in fast with those wind chills. Please dress for it. New York City, high of 41, low of 28, and 1 to 2 inches possible from the clipper, right on top of that 19.7-inch snowpack still sitting in Central Park. Philadelphia, high of 43, low of 30, about an inch of slushy snow, nothing dramatic on its own. But that I-95 corridor through South Jersey is going to be sketchy Tuesday night. Washington, D.C., high of 46, low of 33, the clipper is going to clip you. No pun intended, and you are honestly getting more rain than snow. Consider yourself lucky, and I mean that sincerely. Baltimore, high of 45, low of 32. You are riding that rain-snow edge, but anything wet on the roads turns to solid ice by 5 a.m. Newark and Jersey City, both around 41 today. Low of 28, about an inch of snow possible, and bridges freeze first every single time. So give yourself extra distance tonight. All right, take a breath. We are moving into the Midwest now. If your city has not come up yet, drop it in the comments and I will get to it. Shifting to the Great Lakes and Midwest now, where this clipper is actively doing its thing and the cold just will not let up. Detroit, high of 32, low of 16, and 1 to 2 inches from the clipper wind chill around -5 this morning. And Great Lakes enhancement could push totals higher. Grand Rapids. You are in the bullseye high of 28, low of 18, about 2 inches expected, but lake effect bands can stack up fast, and I would not be surprised if you see 5 inches by morning. Cleveland. High of 34, low of 23, about 1 to 2 inches lake effect off Erie is going to keep firing, and visibility can drop to near 0 in squalls with almost no warning. Here is a number that is hard to wrap your head around. Detroit is at 32 degrees with snow falling right now. Miami is at 81 and sunny, a 49-degree spread. Same country, same morning. Minneapolis, high of 23, low of 9, and 1 to 3 inches from this clipper wind chills around 10 below 0. And frostbite on exposed skin sets in under 15 minutes. St. Paul, same wind chill situation. Same frostbite risk as Minneapolis if you have elderly neighbors or family up in the Twin Cities. Please pick up the phone today and make sure they are okay. Chicago, high of 25, low of 12. The clipper is mostly north and east of you, but you are still locked into bitter cold and single-digit wind chills all day. Milwaukee, high of 27, low of 15, a trace to ½ inch of snow possible this afternoon. At this point in February, Milwaukee folks are basically professional winter survivors. Columbus, high of 37, low of 28, just a trace of snow expected. You are dodging the worst of this clipper. But the snowpack on the ground is not going anywhere for a while. Indianapolis, high of 39, low of 27, dry today. You are catching a genuine breather after the cold stretch you have had. But do not get too comfortable. The second system has your name on it. All right, here is where things get really interesting. And this is what has me locked onto the models tonight, the second system. While the clipper is a quick-hitting nuisance, this second system rolling in Thursday into Friday out of the Dakotas is bigger, slower, and set up to produce more meaningful snow totals. Right now, the models are tracking it from Sioux Falls and Des Moines, eastward through Chicago and Pittsburgh, and eventually into New England by late Friday. The northern track of this system, Iowa, northern Illinois, Indiana, into the Great Lakes is looking at 2 to 6 inches in the bullseye areas on some model runs. The critical wild card is the rain-snow line on the southern side, Kentucky, Virginia, and the Carolinas are going to be watching whether they end up with snow, ice mix, or just rain. And here is the danger nobody is really talking about, yet refreezing overnight on top of Hernando's packed snowpack creates an absolute disaster on roads for the Friday morning commute. The European and GFS models have been agreeing on this system for 3 consecutive runs now, and when models align at this range, that is when you get ready. I am watching the midnight model run tonight, and if the track or totals shift significantly, I will have a full update out before sunrise. That is my promise. Let me hit the south for a moment, because even if you are not in the snow zone, there is something you need to know about the second system. Nashville, high of 61, low of 42, rain possible midweek after everything Tennessee has been through the last 2 weeks. A 61-degree afternoon probably feels like a genuine gift. Go enjoy it. Memphis, high of 59, low of 42, rain. Likely you are in the same recovery window as Nashville. And the warmer air is helping crews reach power lines that still need work. Charlotte, high of 54, low of 39, rain Thursday. But you are right on that edge where a 20-mile shift in the second system's track could flip Thursday night from rain to snow. Keep an eye on it. Raleigh, high of 53, low of 37, same situation as Charlotte. You are on that southern boundary where the details really matter. And I will have a better read after tonight's model runs. Atlanta, high of 57, low of 42, mostly rain and clouds. You are far enough south to likely dodge winter weather from the second system. But heavy rain on saturated ground raises localized flooding concerns. To put things in perspective, Richmond sits at 48 degrees right now while Minneapolis is at 23. That 25-degree boundary between them is exactly where all the storm energy lives. Norfolk and Virginia Beach. High of 50, low of 36, mostly rain. You are probably staying rain dominant for the second system. But watch the Friday commute if temperatures drop while precipitation is still falling. Let me flip to the warm side of this map for just a minute because after everything we have been talking about, it is honestly a little therapeutic to look at. Miami is at 81 degrees and sunny today, Tampa at 73, Orlando at 77. The Sunshine State is living up to its name while Boston is still shoveling out from 2 feet of snow. Life is not always fair. Jacksonville at 69, Houston at 64, Dallas at 59, the South and Gulf Coast are warm, dry, and about as far removed from the Northeast situation as you can get and still be in the same country. New Orleans at 68, San Antonio at 62. Austin at 61 if you are down in the Deep South right now. Eat lunch outside today. Do it for the folks in Providence who have 38 inches in their yard. Los Angeles at 67 and sunny. Phoenix at 71, Las Vegas at 61, a completely different planet from the eastern half of the country. Someone in Phoenix is definitely at the pool right now. San Francisco at 59 with light rain. Seattle at 50 with rain. Portland at 52. The Pacific Northwest is doing its steady, reliable, completely unexciting thing, which honestly sounds wonderful right now. Denver at 46, Colorado Springs at 45, Salt Lake City at 45, Albuquerque at 54. The interior west is chilly but calm. No significant weather concerns in your area for the next 72 hours. And Honolulu, checking in at 81 degrees with trade winds. Somebody has to live that life, I suppose. Thoughts and prayers to everyone over there suffering through the sunshine. Coming back to the Northeast now because the power outage situation changes everything about how seriously you need to take the next 48 hours. Massachusetts still has 239,000 customers without power this morning. Nearly 250,000 homes and restoration timelines are 3 to 5 more days in the hardest hit areas. Rhode Island and New Jersey also still have significant outages, and fresh snow loading onto already weakened power lines tonight could push some restored power back out again. If you are without power right now, please find out where your nearest warming center is before it gets dark tonight, not after. Before. Worcester, Massachusetts high of 37, low of 28, and 2 to 3 more inches on the way from the Clipper. With the outage situation in your area, please treat tonight like it could turn serious. Manchester, New Hampshire high of 37, low of 33, about 2 inches likely. Burlington, Vermont high of 34, low of 24, and 3 to 4 inches possible with higher amounts in the mountains. All right, let us zoom out now and talk about the big picture because once you understand why all of this keeps happening, the whole pattern makes a lot more sense. Picture the country split right down the middle. Out west, a ridge of high pressure is pumping warm Pacific air in. That is why California is in the 60s while the east is buried. That western ridge acts like a wall, forcing Arctic air to pour straight down over the eastern half. Think of it like a seesaw. One side goes up, the other comes down hard. The polar vortex has been sending lobes of genuinely Arctic air down from Canada into the Great Lakes and Northeast all winter, and that same engine powered Hernando and is still running today. So, the question everyone is asking is, when does this break? The models are starting to agree on a pattern shift around March 1st through 5th, which would bring the first real warm-up in weeks for most of the East. But here is the catch that warm-up is what loads the gun for severe weather. Because warm Gulf moisture slamming into retreating Arctic air is when the atmosphere gets volatile. Multiple model runs are flagging the first significant severe weather signal of the season for the Southern Plains and Mississippi Valley in early March. Thunderstorms, possibly significant. That is the next big story. Beyond these two systems this week, after the second system clears the Northeast around Saturday, there is a brief warm-up window. Enjoy it, because it is not a pattern change. By early next week, another cold shot loads up in western Canada, and the models are showing it diving toward the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley, yet another round of winter weather for the Mid-Atlantic. The European Ensemble and GFS are both showing a storm signal for roughly Monday into Tuesday of next week, not locked in, but consistent enough across multiple model runs to start paying attention. And beyond that, The early March severe weather pattern shows up on both models' thunderstorms and potentially large hail from Texas through Tennessee. That is the setup I am most focused on going forward. Bottom line, February is not going down quietly. There is plenty of winter left in the tank, and the transition to spring is going to be noisy. Safety. And I am going to be direct about this because of what happened in Massachusetts during Hernando. This is not the part to tune out. Generators go outside, away from windows, away from doors, at least 20 feet from any opening. Carbon monoxide has no smell and no color, no exceptions, ever. If your power has been out for days and you are using any fuel-burning heat source indoors, candles, camp stoves, a gas range for warmth, please open a window. The risk is real and it is deadly. Check on your neighbors. Especially anyone older or living alone. A 2-minute phone call or a knock on the door can literally make all the difference in conditions like these. Pets inside, full stop. If it is too cold for you to stand outside in a light jacket for 10 minutes, it is too cold for your dog. Please bring them in. Keep a basic emergency kit in your car right now, blankets, water, a flashlight, a phone charger, because getting stranded in these temperatures is not an inconvenience. It is dangerous. If you do not have power and do not know where your warming center is, dial 211. It works in most states and they will point you to the nearest one. Do not wait until tonight. All right, let me give you the 4 things to keep on your radar. These are the pieces that matter most over the next 72 hours. Number 1, the Alberta Clipper tonight through Wednesday morning, 1 to 3 inches for most of the Northeast, up to 6 to 12 in Northeast Michigan. And fresh snow on existing snowpack makes roads treacherous even at small totals. Number 2, the second system. Thursday into Friday, bigger, slower. Potentially 2 to 6 inches in the bullseye areas, and the rain-snow line position is the variable I am watching most closely tonight. Number 3, the power outage situation. 239,000 homes still dark in Massachusetts alone, and new snow on weakened infrastructure risks setbacks in restoration. Number 4, the early March pattern flip a warm-up is coming, but it brings the first severe weather risk of the season to the south. And another Arctic reload after that keeps this story going well into March. And remember that prediction I made earlier, Buffalo over 4 inches. Grand Rapids over 5-1, surprise overperformer, screenshot it and come back tomorrow morning to check if I called it. I will be watching the midnight model runs. And if anything shifts on that second system's track or totals, I will have an update out before 6 a.m. so you know before your commute. Before I go, what region do you want me to go deeper on tomorrow? Are you still dealing with outages from Hernando? Drop your city and your situation in the comments. I read everyone. If this forecast helped you, please hit the like button. It genuinely helps get these warnings in front of people who need them when dangerous weather is actively happening. Subscribe if you are not already. This pattern is far from over, and that early March severe weather setup is going to be one of the bigger stories of the season. Stay warm, stay safe. Check on your neighbors tonight, and I will see you first thing tomorrow morning with the overnight model updates. Take care of yourselves out there.